I'm back with a new book review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Booming Digital Stars, written by Harsh Pamnani and Manish Pande. So this book is about 11 inspiring journeys from India's creator economy. Many of your favorite YouTubers are here, and how they got started, what are their backstories, and how they were able to overcome obstacles in their life and become successful. So if you are an aspiring YouTuber, I highly recommend that you read this book because it's about Indian YouTubers, so we can relate to all of or almost all of their stories. So in this video I am going to be sharing my top 5 lessons from this book. So let's get started. So the first lesson is your circumstances do not determine your future. So this lesson I have derived from the story of Nikunj Lotia, also known as BU Nick on YouTube. You may have seen his funny videos popping up on your feed, and you may also have noticed that he has a very unique style of way of presenting his comedy sketches. His story is very interesting, and the reason why I say is this is because Nikunj was born into a wealthy family, but at the age of when he was around 2 years old, his father loses his business and was forced to sell his shops and home, and they moved out from Gujarat to Mumbai, to a place called Dombivli. Sorry for if I'm pronouncing the name correctly. It's Dombivli. Okay, so that's in Mumbai, and it's a lower middle class suburb. And growing up, he actually suffered a lot of issues with money. For example, when he was in school, he used to stay outside of the class just because he was not able to pay the fees. And also when he did his hotel management studies, he did that with student loan. And in order to pay back that student loan, he used to work at bars as a bartender. That was one of his passions. So he used to work in the night shifts, which he was being paid around 350 a night. And the interesting thing about working the night shift was that his work gets over about after midnight, and the last train that went from his work to his home was only available in the morning. So Nick actually used to sleep in the platforms and until morning. So when in the morning the train services starts again, so he would get on the train and went back home. Imagine at that age having to sleep at train station platforms. It's I cannot imagine that. Even though I have slept at a railway station while I was traveling, and I must say that it's not that pleasant. So Nick had a really tough time growing up, and he worked as a bartender, and also as also at a call center for almost 3 years. So at that time, one of his friend at the call center shows Nick one of the comedy videos that was on YouTube. This was in 2013, and Nick also thinks that okay, let me also try my hand at creating funny YouTube videos. So in this book, there is also a section which talks about Nick's passion for comedy. Basically, he was a class clown, so it was one of his passions to make others laugh. So he started his YouTube channel in 2013 and tried a couple of things, and a video that he uploaded about how guys make fool of themselves to impress women, that actually got 2000 views, and that was the beginning of his success. And now we know that he has got millions of followers and have worked with top actors in India like Ayushmann Khurrana, Alia Bhatt, Varun Dhawan, and won a lot of awards. And he is also invested in a lot of businesses around the world, and I am sure that he is living the best life. So when I look at his life, the circumstances that he was in did not determine his future, and I cannot imagine being in the next place where I had to work so hard and sleep on railway stations, and I'm sure, and I do not hope that for anyone, but there are a lot of people in India who is having a difficult life as Nick or much worse. So that's the first lesson. Let's move on to the second one. Second lesson is have a burning desire to make it happen. This lesson is from the story of Kabita Singh, who went from an unknown homemaker to an acclaimed chef. You might have seen the movie Ratatouille, which is an animated movie by Disney. In that movie, it's a movie about a rat which goes on to become an acclaimed chef. And in that movie, there is a quote which says, "Anyone can cook." Kavita's story is similar to that movie. She was born into a middle-class family in Calcutta, and she did her BCom and used to work at a bank for mere 17,000 salary. She eventually gets married to Vinod Singh, who takes her to UK while he worked as a software engineer for a firm there. So this was in 2008, but in 2014, Kavita with her husband returns back to India and was living in Pune. There she again has a burning desire to work again, because their children were off to school and she had time with her. So before that, while she was in the UK, she used to watch all these Indian cooking channels in order to learn the recipes to make food, because in the UK there was not much tasty Indian food available, and she always had that desire to start her own YouTube channel. So when she got back to India, one of her friend Shilpa, who was having this painting and art channel, she shows that to Kavita, and she got inspired, and she also started making her own YouTube channel. So that's how she started. And initially, for the first 6 months, she made around 89 videos, and that did not get much views or likes. And there is a short story which says that after 6 months she gets $1 from Google, and for that she hosts a party for her friends, a pizza party for her friends, which cost around 2,200. So she celebrated that small milestone, and the breakout actually happened for her 90th video, where she makes gulab jamun using bread, which was different, and that video got 1 lakh views within a month, and she understood how actually what type of videos she should make, and from there she started growing continuously. And even though her story may not seem like inspiring, there are a lot of scenes in this book which talks about how she managed to look after her children, her husband, and also managed to shoot all these videos. When I shoot these videos, I know that it's really difficult to shoot a video, edit and upload it to YouTube. So looking after a family with all these responsibilities must have been really difficult for her. and in the beginning she did not even have any professional lighting system or a video recorder or a camera and so on. So she pushed past all these things and became successful. The lesson is stand out from the crowd, and this lesson is derived from the story of Madan Gauri, who went from an MNC employee to one of the biggest digital influencers of South India. Madan actually have a very interesting story like others. He was a IT employee, worked in multinational companies like Zoho, Cognizant, and have also done MS in the US. But his life took a turn when he broke up with his girlfriend, and she blocked him on all social media platforms, and he was not able to reach out to her. So desperately he made a video and published on YouTube, and even though he didn't get any response from his girlfriend, other people commented and reacted to that video, and that's how he got started on YouTube. But real turnaround happened when one of the employees at Infosys was murdered in Chennai. So within that same day itself, he made a very emotional video and uploaded it to YouTube, which got more than 50,000 views within 24 hours. And at the same time, he also understood that on YouTube there are a lot of videos in English and Hindi, and being a Tamilian, he decided to make all these videos in Tamil, and that's how he stood out from the crowd. And eventually he understood what type of content he should focus on, and he also learned how he should collaborate with companies in order to make sponsored videos for grow and upgrade. So very interesting story, and I understood the value of standing out from the crowd, which is very difficult to do these days because there are a lot of content creators in the same niche, so it is very difficult. So if you are trying to break out from that crowd, it is important to understand the difference and work on your instincts. Fourth lesson is it is okay to change goals, and this lesson is from the story of Prajakta Kohli, also known as mostly sane on social media platforms. And the story is how she went from a radio intern to a comedy queen. So she had a very interesting story, and how she became a YouTuber. So when she was a child, she always loved listening to radio station, and at the age of 11 she had decided that she wanted to become a radio jockey. So that's what she pursued, and eventually she was able to get an internship at Fever 104 FM, and she was thrilled to do that job. So for almost 1 year she did a lot of work there in the production, working 14-hour jobs, and after 1 year she got an opportunity to host the call center show, which happened from 12 midnight to 2 a.m. So even though she was excited about this new opportunity, she quickly find out that this job was actually a really lonely job. She was sitting in this room alone doing all these shows, and she almost felt like the show was fake, and she lost all the motivation, and the show was a flop, and this demotivated her, and she was really in a bad place. So the turning point happened when Hrithik Roshan was visiting their radio station, and she decided to go up to him and ask him for a selfie. So she was taking a video, and in that video both of them was saying, "Oh my god." So that video she posted on Instagram, and one of the vice president at One Digital Entertainment sees that video and gives her an opportunity to start a YouTube channel with a powerful team behind her. So that was how she went from a radio jockey to a YouTuber. In her chapter, there are a lot of other inspiring stories and a lot of valuable lessons that one can learn. I encourage you to read this book. If you want to win this book in this giveaway, I am going to give this book to one viewer. All you have to do is comment thumbs up in the comment section, and I will consider you for this giveaway. The fifth and final lesson is failures should motivate you, and this lesson is derived from the story of Ranveer Allabadia, also known as Beer Biceps or TRS Clips or the Ranveer Show on YouTube. I actually watch all of his videos because it's kind of entertaining as well as educational. As someone who is interested in self-help, I religiously watch all the videos. I don't know when he uploads new videos, but actually every day a new video pop-ups on my screen, and I love watching those videos. But it was not like that. Ranveer, even though was born into a very wealthy family of doctors, he had his own struggle and ups and downs. While he was in college, he had a really bad breakup and was not doing good in his studies. He failed in a couple of the subjects, and he was also struggling with problems with his health, which you can find on his YouTube channel, where he talks about having kidney stones or something related to that. So when he looked at his life, he was actually failing in all aspects of his life, and he was so depressed that he even thought about taking his own life. Thankfully, his mother helped him out of that situation, and he went on to do his MBA in finance and started to work as an intern in EY. And that's where he understood that he was not comfortable taking orders from someone or working for someone, and that's how he decided to be an entrepreneur. So he started experimenting with a lot of things. That's how he started his fitness channel, giving personal training to Tanmay Bhatt and many other people, and slowly he built up his YouTube journey. And one of the co-authors, Manish Pande, actually was his mentor, and he gave a lot of insights on building business, on delegation, and how to grow this channel. So if you are an aspiring YouTuber, there are a lot of valuable lessons which you can learn from this book. Especially this book is based on Indian specific YouTubers. We can relate to their stories more. So I highly recommend that you read this book, and also click on the subscribe button, so I am motivated to make more of these videos. So see you in the next one.